What's up? What's up? It's Hustlers Horizon Podcast, and we are on episode 13.
13.
It's so hot outside. I thought it was episode 10, 11, 12,
Early.
all the other episodes, but 13. And today is a great one. We are excited to have a good friend of ours, Allen Cruz, owner of 5 Star Hail Repair. How are you doing, Allen?
Let's go.
I'm wonderful. Excited to be here.
Hey, man, we appreciate you making time for us, especially for how busy y'all stay. I mean, he walked into the building. I mean, he's on the phone.
Let me take this phone call.
And I felt honored whenever we were coming in the studio. He's like, let me put this on Do Not Disturb.
Oh.
So, Allen, man, we appreciate you being on today, and we're just going to get right into it. So you are the owner of 5 Star Hail Repair. Congratulations on that. Y'all are very successful, and a lot of good things are said about that business. Let's talk about that. What made you want to get into that business?
Well, I co-owner for one.
Yeah.
We founded 5 Star back in 2020 during COVID, and wasn't really making money. And my family has been in this industry for a very long time, and so looking to make a career change, and decided to go ahead and try something new. And 4 years later, here we are. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you said your family members, what is it, uncles, brothers?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
Where did that come from?
Yeah, I've got 2 uncles that have been in the business for 20 plus years. They're technicians, so they know how to actually push the dents, and needed some other people to bring vehicles in and do what I do. So that's kind of where we all fell into place.
Really?
Yeah,
And so
cool.
you said you jumped into it in 2020. You guys founded it, and y'all kind of ran with it there, right?
Well, we jumped into the industry in 2020. We founded 5 Star in 2021.
2021, okay.
Yeah, kind of
Awesome.
got my toes wet, and then 2021 we went ahead and pulled the trigger and started up the LLC, and here we are.
Yeah, and again, congratulations on everything, the success that y'all have had already and going to continue to have. So getting into that business, and you said earlier, you weren't making much money at the time, you just wanted to do something. Your family's been in the industry. So to take that leap, and this is always my favorite thing to talk about, those entrepreneurs who take that step, taking that leap, how did that feel for you? I mean, you're jumping into something, you're like, this could work, it could not. How did that go for you?
Well, to be honest with you, it was the scariest thing I ever did. I was very nervous, and I didn't know what I was doing. But, I mean, the one thing I knew is I had just a hustler's mindset, and I knew I wasn't going to let myself fail. And so just by any means necessary, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah, you have bills to pay, so you got to find a way to pay them, right?
Exactly.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
We made it work. So.
Yeah.
Well, props to you on that. And so especially, and I'm sure, you guys, I would think, y'all stay busy year round, but I know whenever it's storm season and the hell's here, and I was talking to you when you got here, kind of getting to know you a little more about that and how that's been. So you guys travel a lot though, right? So do y'all just stick to this area, like the Panhandle, or what's the goal there?
Yeah, so 5 Star sticks to, West Texas, the Texas Panhandle, maybe surrounding cities in like New Mexico. But yeah, we have one shop. It's here downtown 10th Street, and that's where we stay. But the small towns, Pampa, Hereford, Clarendon, we've got guys in the streets every day.
Every day.
That's awesome.
I've always wondered, how does that work? So say there's a storm in New Mexico. You can pop up shop, right? And y'all can work on cars on the spot, or how does that work?
I've never done that part actually, but no. Essentially, yeah, you would. Obviously, there's kind of laws and whatnot from different states. Get your licenses and whatnot from the county or the city, and just find a shop, find a building, and I'll just bring some cars in there.
Y'all can fix them on the spot and all that.
Correct. Yeah.
If they can. Yeah.
That's pretty handy.
That is
to be
pretty
able
cool.
to fix it on the spot. That's awesome.
That's cool.
I was telling him, I was like, my silly self never knew for the longest time that, like, hey, like when hail damage happens, like you can take this and get it fixed somewhere. So I was looking at my car the other day.
That's bad.
It looks like a golf ball. It looks like a golf ball,
Hey,
man.
you need a referral?
Right. Hey, good gas mileage,
it looks like a golf ball, man. But to be in that industry, and people need that service, right? So when you guys started, and you were, like you said, co-owner, right? Like
Co-owner,
which they respect that, stay humble, love it.
Mm-hmm.
But to jump into that, with the partners that you have, let's talk about that. How has that been with your partners, and taking that jump together, saying, look, guys, we're going to make it happen. How has that been?
I think once you trust somebody, and hey, we're in this together, we're going to make this work one way or another. I honestly, I prefer that because you get to a point where it's almost like a breaking point.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I can do this. You look over and they're like, they're going through the same thing, but together you're going to push yourself just a little further.
That accountability.
And,
yeah.
Just, go just a little bit more because, we're both going through it. Mm-hmm. And, obviously that right there is what helps. And I think that's what makes or breaks you.
Yeah. Especially having like a killer by your side, that you know that someone that has the same drive as you and that's going to push the business as much as you are,
Right.
That kind of helps a lot too. It's always about the person you team up with, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How, it depends on how successful you're going to be.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool, man. I've seen y'all around. I've sent y'all a lot of work and we've stayed connected and y'all are doing great. Y'all been staying connected to the community. I know y'all do a lot of like sponsoring. Y'all South Poodles, right? Are y'all still there?
We are. Yeah.
I go to the South Poodle games. There's signs there, so y'all have some good marketing going on too.
Most definitely. The trunk or treat that we did.
Yeah.
That was a fun little thing. And then you turn around and Ruckus is right there hanging out with us. So that was cool. It's cool to see you guys do that, though. And like you said, staying involved in the community. You guys are literally doing it, and we're seeing it. And I think that's the best thing. Because, yes, you have a business you're trying to run, right? You want to run a successful business. But the most important thing is remembering where you came from and really, when you get into something like that, stay involved in your community.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are the people that are going to help your business take off, right?
Yeah.
And I see you guys doing it consistently. So to be there for that experience with the trunk or treat this last year was awesome.
I know.
Parents bringing the kids.
Yeah.
The kids were stealing candy. They were trying to take the whole bucket. Yeah, man.
Would have put a limit on that.
I know, man. Like, you got to tell some parents, hey, watch your kids. There was this kid who was just grabbing. And then I feel bad because I was like, hey, I don't want to tell him, hey, stop,
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the parents. I was like, hey, you going to tell them something? No, but that's a pretty good thing y'all got going on there because we went 2 years ago. I don't know if you're here with us yet.
Not
but
yet.
We went 2 years ago, and it was the same, dude. The energy, like the event y'all put on, it's crazy. And there tons of people show up. They bring people in. So that's
and just to be there and know now, being in a business and being close with y'all and connected, you never know how much it takes, how much time and effort and money.
Yep.
Money. We were talking about how much it even costed us we kept having to go back and forth to the store.
Yeah, that's how.
And then we look at the receipts and I'm like,
dude, no, we had our candy, right? And then I was like, man, we got like 8 bags. That's good.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, we're like, hey, bro, we're running out of candy. We need to go get some more.
Yeah, we got 3 more hours.
Yeah, 3 more hours. I was like, hey, I told Bracken, go get some more candy. He comes back, fills it back up, right? And then we're running low again. I was like, dude, just bring a shit ton of candy.
Yeah, just
put it there. And then y'all would come around and be like, hey, y'all need some candy? Because y'all knew, right?
Well, no, we didn't know. We knew it was going to be the biggest one yet, but we had no idea. I think our turnout was like 3,000 or 4,000 people.
Yeah, that was awesome.
A ton of people, and even though we tried to prepare as best we could, we were still not prepared. I don't think anybody was.
Nobody was.
It was awesome to see it come together, and it was what was really that stood out to me is you guys do it, you host it at your place of business, but you allow other businesses to come and set up and give candy out, and that was like networking at its finest. You're both, everyone's involved, everyone's connecting, and you stay connected. You build those relationships, and I see it because with Pedro right away he mentioned you. We had Ray on. He was our first episode we did. We were still learning, getting our feet wet, but it's those connections, the relationships you build. And I want to talk to you about that. So since you've jumped into this, you took that leap, you and you guys, y'all hold each other accountable. How has that been for you? How good does it feel when you build those relationships with other business owners who have been going through those ups and downs, and now you kind of help each other, you hold each other accountable and lift each other up? How has your experience been with that and relationships you've built?
It's actually been pretty positive. I've got a couple of friends that, do the exact same thing I do. And, it's pretty nice to, just be cool with someone enough to say, hey, pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm experiencing this right here. Maybe I'm a little bit slower here, or maybe, I'm needing an insurance company to act a little faster. Do you have any other tips and tricks for me? And just doing that and also giving them feedback as well. It kind of works. So it's like, just a mutualism thing that both parties benefit from.
So there's not a lot of there's competition within that industry, but you can still talk to other companies and things like that, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, to
because
be
you
able
get
to
to
do that.
learn from other companies what
Yeah.
they're doing, what's not working, what's working. Because at the end of the day, bro, like there's enough work for everybody.
Absolutely.
Whenever
yeah.
people start talking smack on your company or roofing, whatever industry it is, there's always enough work for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no reason to go out there and talk down on a different company. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
it's,
And I really think it's just like people are greedy.
Yeah,
They want
exactly.
it all. And then
Most definitely.
I understood that there's a pie here,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I want a bigger piece of the pie, but I got to work a little bit harder to get that.
Exactly.
But that whole pie is not mine. So and I
Exactly.
kind of relate that to
Yeah.
what you're saying. Like you don't want to go trash other people. Just take your market share and then be happy with it. And
Being
just
able to,
work harder.
when you break out of that mindset of because everybody's hungry, there's plenty of work to go around. But even if it's someone in the same industry as you, right? Because I've met people who they know what I do, they know I'm with Excel, and then it's like, oh, well, I work for a construction company, and then they kind of there's that pushback a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, like
Why?
we're
Yeah.
okay, like I'm still your friend, like I
Right.
hope we can establish that. But when you realize that that you don't have to compete all the time, there's plenty of work. People need to be helped. You can actually, if you break out of that mindset and start thinking like, how can we help each other?
yeah.
I mean, I believe that's possible to collaborate. Like you said, you have friends who do the same thing you do.
Yeah.
And y'all give each other advice and feedback. Hey, I want to see you succeed. I want to succeed. We
do
can
it.
succeed
Yeah.
together. And you got to think about the people, your customers. I'm not going to get caught up arguing with somebody in the same industry and how I'm better and how they're not that good and this and that. Let me worry about how can we be better to better serve our community and our customers.
Yeah.
And so that's cool that you have those relationships with friends who are in the same industry, and there's not any like, trash talking. Maybe y'all do because you're friends,
Yeah.
you can throw a few shots at each other, but
Yeah.
that's important. And so now I want to talk to you now about this, and we talked about the relationships, jumping into it. What is the vision? And I always ask this, and I know I always say people love living in the moment. That's the best thing to do.
Right.
What is the vision for Five Star Hail Repair? Let's say with even the next 5 years. What's your vision?
Within 5 years, I want another location.
Okay.
Another location. I really think Amarillo is like brick and mortar. It's going to stay here. This is like this is our roots. And
Yeah.
being from here, building the clientele base. I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere. Besides growing. But I would like another location somewhere in the bigger city, Oklahoma City, Dallas, that kind of area.
Yeah. The Dallas area would be good.
Yeah, Dallas.
That'd be
area.
badass,
And,
yeah.
they're getting hailstorms. It seems like
Dude,
every day.
They're getting hammered, and we're not getting nothing up here.
Yeah, right.
That's
So they're
crazy.
always getting.
It's like Mother Nature is not our friend this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would that work? You just send like one of your guys from here to go start that one, or have you thought about it?
We put pen and paper to it last year and kind of had an idea, but everything kind of fell through with that. Just weren't really as prepared as we needed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be my partner and I, or one of us would go down there and
Yeah,
kind of
start that one
everything
out,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you about that. Where are you originally from? Are you from? You grew up in Amarillo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in a very, very small town, just like pretty much middle of nowhere.
What's it called?
Lockney, Texas.
Lockney, Texas.
Lockney, Texas.
Fun fact: Ray and I were actually born at the same hospital in the same room.
Really?
Well, I think there's probably like one hospital room in that small hospital.
Because he was talking about it. He's from Lockney, and
Yeah.
he grew up with his aunt, and right?
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Lockney and stuff. Yeah.
Ray's from Lockney,
So you grew
yeah.
up in Lockney. How was that growing up there? Like,
Well,
it's a small town.
I was born there, and the only reason I was born there is that was because the closest hospital. There was a town even smaller than where my parents are from.
What's the other one?
That town's called Kittiquay, Texas.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
Population's like 5, I think.
They just got a hailstorm. They just got a
They
hailstorm.
did. They
Yeah.
did. They did. Yeah.
Let's go take over the market over there.
There's like
all
five
five
people.
houses.
Yeah, all 5 houses.
It's his family. Hey, mom, I'm home.
It's my cousin, my aunt.
No, that's cool. No, so Kittiquay is a small town,
very
and then,
small.
so you grew up in Lockney. After Lockney, how long were you there? You grew up there, or
Well, so I was born in Lockney. I grew up in Kittiquay. Probably first 2-3.
is there a
years.
school there?
There is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And about 2-3 years later, my parents moved to Amarillo, just more opportunity and whatnot. Because there's not a lot other than farming that goes on.
Yeah.
in those small towns. So, yeah, we moved to Amarillo, and I pretty much grown up here my whole life.
You grew up. You went to high school here and everything.
I did.
Where'd you
yeah.
go?
Highland Park.
Highland Park. Cool.
Highland Park. All right. The Hornets.
East Amarillo. Highland Park Hornets.
Is
yeah.
it Hornets? Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the Hornets. It is the
Highland Park
Hornets.
Hornets.
That's cool.
That's
So
wild.
how was it? How was the difference between the small town and then Amarillo?
obviously there's a lot more things to do in Amarillo. I
Yeah.
mean, for fun, I loved going back, like spending my summer vacations as a kid in Kittiquay with my cousins and everything. I loved going back and just like walking around town or like playing football at the park. Like,
Yeah.
this was before, cell phones and everything. We're just young kids. I mean, we're playing with cars in the dirt and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because that's how
So that's how it was there.
that's how smaller towns are, right? Because what was the population there?
Honestly, I think it's like 300.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Wheeler, so it was like 1,200.
Okay.
But you can go out to the park, you can go ride bikes, you can go by yourself, like just go explore the town. But then you move to a bigger city, and you're like, you can't do that,
Yeah.
Like everything's so far, or your parents are like, no, well, there's a lot of people here, and you can't do the same things. Right. It's crazy, but 300 people, I'm sure you were just acting a fool out there.
Oh yeah. The cool thing to do is walk to Allsup's and stuff.
Hey, there you go.
You can only walk to Allsup's so many times in one day.
yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So you said you're from the small town. You were born in a hospital in Lockney, though.
Yeah.
And then, so you moved here. How old were you when you moved to Amarillo?
I was like 3 years old, baby.
3 years old?
Oh,
Okay.
so you're from Marlo.
Yeah,
Right.
you're from Amarillo.
I'm from Amarillo.
Yeah, so, but it's just cool to hear that. And let's talk about that growing up and how that was for you. And let's talk about the support system that you have, because I believe that's a big thing for when you jump into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the support from your parents that you had, your family. How important and how big of a part has that played in your, and I'm going to say success. I know you're a humble guy, Allen, but your success. You're very successful. Yeah. It's awesome to see what you're doing. Right. How big of a role has that played in your success?
Oh, to this day, man, my parents, are my world. They literally are my rock. Any type of thing I go through, and maybe they don't even know what it is, but I can call them at any time, and they're an open ear. Mm-hmm. They'll listen to me. Hey, if I'm going through any kind of situation or whatnot, they'll listen and give me some advice. And oh man, but yeah, without them and their support, I don't know if I'd be here where I am today.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You also have your sister, right? Working with
my sister, yeah, she's our office manager. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's nice too. I met her a while back.
Yeah,
from what I know, she's nice.
A couple years ago, she was like this quiet, reserved girl, but after spending 2 years in a shop full of guys,
she's
I gave her some backbone.
Yeah, that's like you're like, she's nice. She's like, huh? I started laughing.
She's always been nice, and every time I've been there,
I saw him kind of sweating a little bit looking at the camera when you said that. He's like, she is nice.
She is nice. No, that's cool. Are you Hispanic?
Yeah, I'm Hispanic.
100%, or
yeah,
what?
100%,
You speak Spanish and all that?
I wish I did. That's like the one thing that I wish I had. Is I would learn, how to be bilingual.
Same here, bro. Same here.
Because y'all look Hispanic.
Oh, dude.
I feel like y'all should know
And the summertime, I get so darker. It makes people mad that I don't speak Spanish. It makes me mad.
You're expected to know it. And it's been a very hard thing.
You're Mexican, you should know how to speak Spanish. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Bro, we should start like a Spanish speaking class or something.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
No, because when I got here from Mexico, I didn't know English.
Yeah.
So it was called ESL. I don't know what that stands for.
Yeah.
English second language.
What does it stand for? Do you know?
English second language.
Oh, see, that's the first time I heard that. But I remember when I got here, I was like, I didn't know nothing, bro. And they stuck us in that class. Within a year or two, bro, I was good. It clicked.
I just get intimidated to try to learn Spanish.
I think with y'all, it's the way y'all sound that y'all man, I sound too funny,
Yeah, I felt like I sound funny
because you're trying to pronunciate it in your head and then speak it, and you're kind of butchering it. Where it just comes right out the tongue for someone that speaks it. And so it's like,
and then y'all get embarrassing
myself.
Yeah. And then you just have to go through that, bro. You just have to get embarrassed and just push through.
I wish. It's never too late, I guess, to learn. My dad tells me the same thing.
Does he speak Spanish, your dad? Mm-hmm. He does.
Yeah,
fluently?
He's like, he goes, being bilingual, he goes, man, you could be making a lot more money at these places, especially when I was in the bank.
For sure, bro.
I was working, the first branch I worked at with the A&B was the southeast branch behind Walmart on Grand.
Oh, yeah,
so it's a lot of Spanish speakers, man. Yeah. And they would get so mad because I was sitting at the front and the customers would come in and start talking Spanish, and I'm like...
They'd be like, oh, this is...
Let me go grab somebody real quick.
Let me go ahead and get my manager.
This is Derek Urias.
Yeah. They see my Spanish. Yeah, they see my name. They see the last name, and I'm like, don't let it fool you.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's crazy. So So you talk about that, the support of your family, and I feel like that's so important. And so you said that your parents are still your rock, they're still your world till this day, and everything you go through, the ups and downs. That's awesome. And I would imagine you jumping into this, that was like on your mind. Like, I want to do what I can to make you guys proud, and I want to succeed, and it shows.
Yeah.
But it's cool to hear that though, because we see, you see a lot of successful business owners. It's like who's the support for them?
Yeah.
Who's behind them, pushing them, holding them accountable? Then you talk about your business partners, y'all hold each other accountable. You're like, hey,
for sure.
and it was cool. I think my favorite thing that you said earlier was, you're going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like, man, you're like down, but you look over at your partner's like, man, look, I'm down too, but there's only one way, and the way should be up. Like,
Absolutely. You can't go any more down,
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. So.
Yeah, so let's talk about getting into this. And you were kind of talking earlier, you started getting into some podcasts, but books or somebody that you like is like your mentor, like an idol that you just look up to when you wanted to start a business, or even before. Is there somebody that you've looked up to? It can be anybody in any industry, and it can be a family member.
I didn't prepare for this question.
Like whenever you think about like some business moves or something, what do you do? Like, do you read podcasts?
I do a little bit of everything. I try to get as much knowledge as I can on everything. I don't know if I have one specific person that I like look up to and kind of follow
most
everything.
definitely. Yeah, there can be tons of them. Yeah.
I mean, like if there's something I want to know, I'm going to go find out as much as I can about it from so many different sources.
Yeah,
Whether
that's
that be
awesome.
A book, articles, videos. I mean, I'm trying to get
There you
as
go.
much knowledge about whatever I want to know as possible.
Yeah. Whenever you talk about having those tough times where it's like it gets pretty hard and you kind of you almost want to put it up, what did you do, or what do you do? Because I mean, I feel like those moments are going to happen all the time, and it doesn't matter how successful the business is. You still have those moments. How do you approach those situations?
Well, for one, you obviously got to understand the whole situation, where you're at, why you're there, what's going on, and where you want to be. And then from there, you want to, I try to come up with a game plan to fix whatever situation I'm in, whether that be a bad situation or a good situation. I'm just trying to make better.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things like that I try to do. So.
To do. Make the best out of everything.
Most definitely.
That's cool, man. I wanted to ask you though. So obviously the hail and repair industry and stuff, there's storm season for that, right?
Right.
But what do y'all do whenever y'all are like on the slow times, winter and all that stuff? Like, how do you stay alive?
Well, I think our very first year we did as much as we could, as late as we could. Like, we would work as late as possible every day. We worked as late as possible as we could into the year. And, make yourself, you have to be prepared for that slow season, because there's going to be times where you're making a lot of money and, putting some of that back, saving.
Yeah.
And, so that's kind of what I've done. But we also still work, and the brand that we've built helps us. It helps tremendously.
Yeah.
With people coming in, because I always say January is going to be kind of a good month, because there's people that want to wait till the end of the year to get their vehicle fixed. Well, no one wants to get their vehicle fixed on Christmas. So, we'll wait till the new year, and then it just so happens Januaries are kind of busy for us.
Yeah,
so that kind of helps
get the year
slingshot us.
kicked off. Yeah.
Right.
I had a question though. Is it on that hail repair and stuff with like insurance and stuff? Is it kind of like a roof? Like you have up to a year to get it replaced? I mean, to get it fixed, repaired, or how does that work? So say I got hail damage on my car. What steps do I need to take? I know you call y'all.
Right.
And then what do y'all take it from there?
Just call it. We'll take care of everything. I'm kidding. Call us. We'll take it all.
No, because they really do. Like they do. They'll give you a rental car.
Yeah.
But how does that process look? Like if a homeowner's watching or something and they're like, man, I have hail damage, but I don't want to leave my car, or I don't know what to do, because I've seen it firsthand. Like you tell them, you're like, hey, we got you. You give them rental cars. You don't have to pay the deductible and all that kind of stuff. How does that work? Like the process?
So our first process, or the first step of the process, is we want to make sure that there is enough damage on your vehicle to actually file a claim.
Yeah.
More times than not, there is.
Yeah.
If there's not any damage, hey, you know what? It's probably not worth making a claim. You might want to wait a little bit longer. If you get hit with another one, maybe it's worth it then. But right now, probably not. Whenever you do have enough damage, from there, we explain the process to you, how we handle business. We'll go ahead and file the claim. We'll set you up a loaner vehicle to drive. We've got contracts with rental companies here, so you're driving something brand new compared to what you are driving. So we're going to put you in a big old truck to like a Toyota Corolla, and we're going to put it comparable. And then from there, we take the car in, write the estimates, deal with the insurance adjusters, and get it approved, get it repaired, and get it back to the customer.
And then as soon as it's ready, they come pick it up, and it's all good.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty
Come
dope,
pick it up,
man.
we walk around it, make sure they're 100% happy, and then everything's good to go.
That's cool, bro.
I'm gonna go beat my car with the hammer.
It's already beat up enough, bro.
It is, man. I could literally use it as a golf ball. It looks like one. Man.
It might not be repairable
It's
at this point.
yeah.
Now, can you fix that? You can fix that, right? Did you see it?
Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
He's gonna walk out and be like, you know
We'll
what?
take a look. We'll take a
I can
look.
direct you to the car dealership. Go get you a new
Go
car.
get you another one, man. Restart. I had this customer. I was working my very first year. I did traveling sales, and so I was in Fort Worth. I was in Lubbock, Fort Worth, came back to Amarillo, went to Colorado, and kind of bounced around.
Yeah.
I was in Colorado, and this guy comes. I was talking to him. He literally beat his car
In front of you?
Not in front of me.
Okay.
He beat his car with a hammer.
Oh my gosh!
So the adjuster comes and takes a look at it at the shop with us. Me adjuster and customer. Sorry, I get ahead of myself. We're looking at this car, and we knew he beat his car with a hammer because, like, in the middle of the roof where his hand didn't reach, there's no dents. Yeah, so like his roof, it was like a SUV. His roof had dents on it, and they're like deep dents. You can see like a hammer dent, and it's like this doesn't look like hail.
Wow.
And sure enough, like the guy was like pointing, oh yeah, look at the roof, and the adjuster's like stand right there, and the guy was like leaning over. He took a picture of him. I was like, yeah, we're not fixing this one.
Damn. So they didn't pay for it?
They didn't pay for it. Yeah, they rejected it because, I mean, it was obviously just,
Damn.
Yeah,
There's some crazy people out there. Have you came across any like crazy stories to where maybe you got, because you do take their cars, right?
Right.
So maybe you got accused of stealing it. Anything crazy that's happened to y'all?
Man, I've had one lady come and like she was supposed to come pick her vehicle up. Well, she had to check for the repairs, and well, she was supposed to pick it up whenever I was there at like 4 p.m. But I was out running errands, and yeah, she came up like I don't know, like 2 or so, snatched the keys out of someone's hand and just ran up in the car, took off. And,
No, she didn't pay y'all.
Nah, yeah, that's probably the craziest thing that's happened.
Y'all didn't
Merry
get back. Y'all didn't
Christmas
get her.
to her.
Yeah, it was a long story.
Yes, I would imagine you guys go through a lot, but that's pretty cool. Like I didn't even think about that, like the whole adjuster meeting and everything.
Yeah,
like that's pretty cool. They just kind of go and they're like,
No, they look at everything, bro. It's like a roof.
yeah.
They're like,
But that's
hey.
funny though. They said, "Put your hand up there."
Yeah, well, the guy was like pointing at us, man, or like he was like pointing stuff out to us, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
look at this and look at this," and I was like, "Wait, stay right there." And yeah, you could just see like there's like 12 more inches from his hand where there was dents, and that was because that's where the hammer was. And so, yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
Just like I don't know who would think they were gonna get away with that.
yeah. I mean,
I
it's-
was thinking about it. I was, but I don't really need to at this point.
right.
No, we got you, bro. I know a good hell repair company. that'll hook you up.
Just down the road,
Down
right
the
here,
road,
man.
down the road. 5-star hell repair.
5-star hell repair. Yeah, so that, like we said, just the crazy things that you guys have witnessed, that's actually a really crazy and a funny story. I know it's not funny when you're not getting paid or if you don't get paid for something like that, but you know,
I would go after him, bro. Did y'all go after her?
Oh, that lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried, and there was not much I could really do in that situation. I was not really prepared. That was my first year in the business.
Oh, when you were starting.
Yeah, that was right when I
Yeah.
was starting. I didn't know what I know now.
But now that you have more experience in this, like you know what steps you need to take, you know what I'm saying? To
prevent that,
protect
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, so
to protect
there's-
yourself.
yeah,
That's part of learning. That's part of learning
And
like business, the industry, and all that stuff.
And yeah, absolutely. There's like that's actually funny you say that. One of my buddies, he owns a hell repair company. We had about a 45-minute conversation the other day about, there's the things that they do not teach you, and they don't teach you how to open a business or run a business.
Yeah.
It's all a learning curve, man. It really is.
I know. I wish school would like teach you about that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I don't. Do you remember anything from school?
Exactly. That's
Don't
another
get
thing
me
too.
in-
Even if they do, are you going to pay attention while
I
you're
know,
there?
like-
You're not just being
Only
such a
thing
young
I remember
one.
from school is what time school started and what time it ended.
Right. And like
And lunch.
maybe
And lunchtime.
sports and like maybe there's a couple of classes that you liked and stuff, but you don't like. I think they need to change that up. Like add some stuff in there.
Well, they talk about it now. Like they wish there was a class like that would go over like what debt is and you know how to work on your credit and all of that stuff. Because, but like you said, even when you jump into a business, no one tells you there's people that I'm sure there's books and instructions like advice that people can give you, which is great. But everybody is so different, and everyone's story is so different. So it is when you jump into it, you have your ups and downs just like anyone else, but you're just learning as you go.
Yeah.
And but it's cool though to see that that never stops, and then you just see your business grow and grow and grow. And as it's growing, you're like, well, what's the next step, right? And you're like, well, wait, what is the next step? No one's taught me that. Like
exactly, you gotta know when to jump.
Again. Yeah. So now I want to ask you, because we've talked about the business and everything. What does just a regular day look? What does your routine look like from sun up to sundown? And then let's talk about some of your hobbies. Like, what do you like to do for fun, man?
Okay, yeah. Well, I can tell you this: no day is the same. And I'll have a plan for a day, and you know, there's some days where I don't even touch anything that I had a plan to do.
yeah.
But for the most part, you know, I wake up. I get up at 7 a.m. every day. I get up, kind of enjoy me some personal time before I get the motor running, and then I'm at work first thing in the morning. From there, I'm usually trying to plan out my day at the shop, and so from planning that out, it's usually making parts runs first thing in the morning, taking care of overdue things that are just kind of there,
lingering,
just lingering issues, and then I'm pretty much in the shop most of my day, writing estimates, looking at everything, making sure customers' rental cars are getting fulfilled and everything's happening the way it should be happening. So just trying to supervise and make sure everything's falling into place.
Yeah. And then on your free time, like, what do you do for fun? What do you like? What are your hobbies?
It's gonna sound so cliche. I'm like
work.
So I'm a really big football fan. Not that cliche.
Ray was in there. I was like, hey Ray, what do you do for fun? He's like, work. I was like,
that guy is he's the definition of a hustler, man. He's like, hey, I work and I sleep, and that's it.
That's what he said. He's like, just work and sleep, bro. I was like, man, take some time off.
You really need to. I think that is very beneficial for everybody to have just some personal time.
Yeah.
And some things that to get your mind off things because
it's stressful.
Yeah, and that's so. Some people can do it. Some people can't.
Yeah.
And it's like I like you said. I agree. Sometimes you have to disconnect.
Yeah.
And and know that, hey, all right, I'll get started back up tomorrow or something. Exactly. Or if you're just really adamant about it, you're probably going to take a few hours to yourself and then get right back to it. But I believe it's important to step back and reset and refresh and give yourself time. And so that's awesome that you do that. And so you say you're a big football fan, sports fan. Who's your favorite team?
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
I knew
it. Yes.
Oh my God.
This is the best episode ever.
Let's go.
We're done after this. That's all we needed. A Cowboys fan. Okay, I love it.
No, for real, the Cowboys though. For real?
I am a Cowboys.
It wasn't a joke.
Die hard. No, I'm for real Cowboys. Right. Tony Romo, favorite Cowboy ever. For the record.
Oh, it just keeps getting better. Alan, I really like this guy.
Y'all need to go hang out after.
Alan, you're a good guy. Did I ever tell you that?
But yeah, man, it's like I love football. I'm really obsessed with it. So I like to play football. I like to go watch football. I watch basketball as well, and that's kind of what I do for fun.
Yeah. So who's your basketball team?
Play some video games.
There you go.
Oh man.
Who's the basketball team?
LeBron James. No. He's like, why did I even bring this guy on here?
Cut. No, I like LeBron. He's not bad. He's not bad. Lakers.
he's like the Tom Brady. Like, just get him out of there already.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
he's getting old, man.
Did y'all watch the roast of Tom Brady?
I didn't get to watch it.
Bro, go on Netflix and watch it. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the full thing. I watched bits and pieces of it.
Y'all need to watch it. But I was thinking they should do the roast of LeBron James.
I'm sure it's coming.
They're cooking.
Oh, that is definitely coming.
They were cooking, bro.
Well, dude, but they pay them millions of dollars just to sit there and be roasted.
Y'all need to watch it though, for reals. And like next episode, we can talk about like what you thought about it, dude.
Wait, there is a roast already?
Yeah,
it's on
Tom
Netflix.
Brady.
The roast.
No.
Of Tom.
I thought you were talking about LeBron James.
No, I said they need to do one. They need to do one.
Yeah,
but Tom Brady, bro, they went hard on him. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him, but his bank account's doing okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, his feelings might be hurt, but he's making more money than any of us.
Not but for real, y'all need to watch it, dude. It's legit. It's good.
I've been tempted to watch it. So how do you feel, Alan, about the football season? What are your expectations? That mine aren't very high anymore.
This is our
mine
year.
are not very high. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That these last few seasons they're not. I just get ready to be disappointed again.
And that's really what it is. I personally am not a big believer in our quarterback. I never really have been. And just to be honest,
Alan,
I was so salty whenever Dak came in and took Romo's spot. I was like, man, no, I give it back to Romo. That was our year, man. That was our year. 2016 was our year.
And then they're getting rid of Lamb, are they?
They probably will. We might lose him after this season because after this season he can go be a free agent, I guess.
What do you think about the Cowboys?
I think our needs were not answered in the draft. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
I was like, I mean, we had a decent draft, but it could have been a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Who did it? I don't even watch it.
I didn't even watch it this year. And like you said, and people, they're probably not going to like me anymore. But I really haven't been a big fan of Dak.
Yeah, same.
And everyone's like, oh, well, he's a good guy. And he is. I'm not discrediting what he does off the field. Yeah. But when he's on the field, I'm going to discredit it because I don't feel like he's doing the job. Yeah. And then they'll argue me because Romo was my favorite Cowboy. That is.
But did Romo do the job or no?
Yeah, absolutely. He did.
My thing is, I always say, and I could be wrong, and people are going to argue with me. They're never going to watch the podcast again. You would give Romo the weapons that we have that Dak has had.
Okay, yeah.
It's a different story.
Super Bowl.
It's a different story.
Had Dez.
That's all he had.
So here's
Austin.
Here's Dez, Austin. Here's my take on this. Every player, this is about to go viral. Just kidding. Go. Every player that played with Tony Romo has left Tony Romo and regressed. Mm-hmm. There's not been a single player. Des Bryant, he was the most promising one, but tore his what was it? Achilles. Mm-hmm. Again, minicamp with the Saints. Mm-hmm. But seriously, and that's not the same with Dak. Like, you lose Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper goes up, and, I mean, he's one of the top receivers in the league, which he was, but he got better. But, I mean, the fall off from whenever someone left Romo and they went somewhere else is, I mean, it's night and day.
And my favorite thing with him was the leadership.
Right.
And, like, he was one of the only ones that could rip into Dez, and Dez is going to respect it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody can. Dez was a hard guy to talk to. I would, if I was on the sidelines, I'm not even going to look at him. But Romo could go put him in his place and, get your head out of your ass. Let's go play, So
that's too much Cowboy talk.
But anyways, it's
they're gonna hate us for this.
Nah, but it is what it is.
The ratings are going up and up and up.
Yeah, all of our subscribers are gone. Hey, but it's still, how about them Cowboys? This is not our year. Let's not say that.
At least I'll admit it.
Hey, it's not.
There's some Cowboys fans that are like, oh yeah, this is our year. That's what makes it annoying for me.
That's what makes it annoying for everybody.
Right. They're like, they make it like hardcore. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Bro, you're not. You're not. Just be a Cowboy fan, but don't go that hard.
Yeah, seriously. I've had to learn. Yeah. So, Alan, this is my favorite part. We've had a lot of fun on this episode, and we appreciate you coming on. This is my favorite part, and this is how I love to end these episodes. So, we got to learn your story. You jumped into it. We got to learn your support system and what you do, what your routine looks like, what the visions are. Now, what's some advice you would give to somebody who maybe wants to start a business, whether they're older, younger, that has had this plan, has this drive in them, they want to start a business in any industry? What's that advice you'd give to them? If they were to come up to you and say, hey, Alan, I'm thinking of starting on business. I'm a little scared, like you were, had that fear. What's that advice you'd give to them?
I would say never know too much and never give up. Once I feel like once you get to a point where you're satisfied and you know too much, it's downhill from there. So never know too much. Stay humble, stay learning, but also set your goals and never give up on them. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what happens, never give up on what you want to do. So
that's good,
man. I want to go start a business now. That's awesome, man.
Don't give up.
No, it's never knowing too much, right? Yeah. Don't ever know too much.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
That's awesome, man.
You're always going to be learning.
Yeah. Always be learning.
Always.
That's like awesome. The day you're not learning is the day you're regressing.
That's going down. That's great advice, man. And never getting satisfied. I love it, man. Well, Alan, again, we appreciate you coming on today. We know you stay busy, and we know that it's a busy season for us and for your business. And I wish nothing but the best. Can't wait. I won't take my golf ball to go get looked at because it's done. But again, thank you for your time. And everybody, Hustlers Horizon podcast, episode 13. I kept wanting to say 12.
Yeah, 13.
I probably said that earlier. Episode 13. Again, remember, you can catch these episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Allen Cruz, man, what a pleasure having you on today. Again, thank you for your time. If you guys have any hail damage on your car and you want somebody to take care of you, someone that's honest, someone that's really genuinely going to be there every step of the way.
Start to finish.
From start to finish, and to help really great owners of the business who really care about helping people.
Tell them I sent you.
Tell them
so I can get a referral.
Tell them Hustlers Horizon podcast sent you so we can split the referral check.
Let's go.
But anyways, guys, 5-star Hell Repair, Allen Cruz, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Hustlers Horizon podcast. Like I say, this is a podcast where we hustle up, level up, shift the mindset, build a better us to build a better business. Again, episode 13. Y'all go look for it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Boom.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir.